Hi Yogi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ivy, and today we'll be going through techniques and poses that can help you get you into your full splits. Full split is a pose that requires a lot of openness through the hips and the legs, but at the same time a lot of strength to keep ourselves supported once we're in the shape. So that's what we'll be doing today, working with both flexibility and strength for our full splits pose. Now, full splits is not a pose that will be happening overnight. It requires a lot of patience and a lot of consistency to get ourselves into that pose. So try not to be discouraged even if it doesn't happen today, but maybe try to come back to this video every day for a period of time to see results and see the progress through your body. Also, another important thing, it can be really nice to have some blocks with you. If you don't have any blocks, you can also use like books or anything that can keep your hands supported. So without further ado, let's meet on the mat. So we're going to start in downward dog, tucking your toes under and lift your hips up and back. In your downward dog, just start by paddling out your feet to create some space within your body as you press through your hands to send your sit bones up and back. Now already from here, can you begin to create more space through the shoulders as well? So we roll the armpits in towards center and lengthen through the spine. Then once you're ready, take an inhale to lift the left leg all the way up towards the sky. We're going to open up the hip. Let's bend the knee and just draw a few circles with your knees, creating even more space through the hips. Maybe reversing the direction of these circles. Make them as big as you possibly can. To then inhale, straighten the leg up towards the sky. Now finding engagement through the core, the hip is still open. Can we then exhale, close the hip down? With your hips closed, can you try to lift the foot up a little bit higher? Let's do that a few more times as we open up the hip. Exhale as we close the hip, but try to lift the foot up even higher with the hips closed. Final time, opening up the hip. Exhale to close the hip, but lift the foot up just a little bit more. So then exhale, draw the knee into your chest and step the foot in between your hands. We're going to lower the back knee onto the mat and rise up into a low lunge, arms up and overhead. From here, begin to sink your hips down a little bit more, but at the same time, draw your front heel back and your back knee forward. So your inner thighs, they're trying to hug in towards each other. This engagement that you're creating in the legs is what is going to help you be supported once gravity is trying to pull you down in full splits. Arms are overhead. Take an inhale, let's lift the heart as we lean the arms back behind us. As we exhale, bring your hands to the floor. From here, straighten the front leg, finding a half split as we flex into the front foot. Now here it can feel quite nice to have some blocks underneath the hands to support if the floor feels far away. We're going to send the left hip back into space, hug the front heel firmly down into the mat. And then take an inhale, create length through the spine, through the chest. Exhale to fold down. We're going to do a few of these waves as we inhale, lift up through the heart. And as we exhale, fold over the leg. Can we keep the left hip surging to the back the whole time? Just follow your own breathing pace 3 more times, waving through the spine. Continuously flexing through the front foot, pointing the toes in toward yourself. Try to let your fingertips be soft. Let's take one more. Inhale to lengthen. This time as you exhale, fold over the leg and stay. Your hands can be wherever it suits you. Again, use the blocks if needed. Can we draw the belly in a little bit more and send the crown of the head forward in your fold? As we then inhale, slowly rise all the way back up. Bring your fingertips right underneath the shoulders. The front leg is still straight. Flexing into the foot again if you've relaxed the foot. Drawing the left hip back into the space. Draw the belly in. And we're going to inhale. Try to lift the left heel off the mat. To exhale, lower. Let's do that a few times. Each inhale, you try to lift the heel. And exhale, just lower it back down. And even if the heel doesn't come off the floor, that's totally fine. We just want to try to find that engagement through the leg to help lift and lower. Now the next time you lift your heels, stay right there for 3, 2, And one. Lower the heel back down, bend into the front knee, planting your hands at the front of the mat, and gently press yourself all the way back into a downward facing dog. Maybe paddling out the feet one more time. And just feel the difference here in your left and right leg. All right, let's do the other side. Inhale, the right leg reaches up towards the sky. Again, open up the hip, bend the knee, and let's just draw a few circles with the knee. Trying to make these circles big. Maybe reversing the direction as well. Can you hug your heel in towards your butt while still pressing equally through both of your hands? And then from here, we're going to extend the leg up towards the sky with the hip open for now. And then once you're ready, exhale, close the hip down, but send the foot up higher. Inhale to open the hip. Exhale as we close the hip, but send the foot up just a little bit more. Let's open the hip again. Final time, exhale, close the hip, send the foot up to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, step the foot in between your hands. Back knee comes down, low lunge again, arms up and overhead. And again, try to focus on your legs as we draw the front heel towards the back and the back knee forward. And with this engagement, you can then allow your hips to lower down a little bit more. Arms are overhead, lift the sternum for a slight back bend. As we exhale, hands onto the mat, coming into that half split on your second side. Straighten into the front leg, flex the foot, again using blocks if needed. As we then take an inhale to lengthen the spine, using your exhalation to fold. Let's do that waving motion a few times. Let's lengthen and folding, following your own breathing pace. And again, the right hip is constantly searching towards the back wall. So we're actively lengthening through the back of the leg and pressing the front heel firmly down into the mat to keep you grounded. Final time. With your exhalation, we fold and we stay. Maybe you walk your hands further out or forward, or maybe they just stay where they are. Can you try to keep the spine as lengthened as you can within this fold? Thinking more about this V shape through the thigh and the spine rather than rounding through the spine. So we then slowly walk the hands all the way back underneath the shoulders, finding a length through the chest. Now flexing into that front foot, right hip searching to the back. As we then inhale, lift the heel. Exhale, lower the heel. Do that a few times, lifting and lowering. And once again, even if the heel doesn't lift off the floor, that's completely fine. We're just trying to engage the front of the thighs, creating mobility within a flexible state or within an open state. And then the next time you lift the heel, let's stay there for 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the heel back down, foot back down, and press yourself all the way up into a downward dog. Taking a moment here, once again paddling out the feet. As we then inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand this time. Now you might want to wiggle your right foot a little bit more back into this lizard-ish shape. And just start by wriggling a little bit back and forth and from side to side. Now pressing your left foot firmly into the mat and hug your knee in towards the shoulder. Can you begin to draw the inner thighs and the thighs in towards each other? So the left buttocks is searching a little bit more back. Within this shape, maybe you wish to just stay. Maybe we slowly begin to walk the fingertips forward. If you're walking the fingertips forward, can you begin to press the right heel towards the back, lengthening through the back side of your body, while still grounding through the left foot and sending the left hip back into space. Notice how that feels through the hips, creating engagement. To then exhale, slowly walk the hands all the way back underneath the shoulders and gently place your back knee onto the floor. Inhale as we reach the left arm up towards the sky, creating a fist with the left hand, and then send your foot towards the back foot. Now we're going to lift the back foot off the mat, so the knee is in the ground, and begin to bring the sole of the foot in towards the hand. But we're not grabbing hold of the foot, we're just trying to touch the fist. So then exhale, lower the foot all the way back down onto the mat. Let's do that a few more times, lifting, coming up, touching the hand, maybe not, and back down. And even if you can't touch, totally fine. 3 more times, lifting and lowering in your own breathing pace. Supporting yourself with the right hand, the left hand is just there for the foot to touch. And once you're doing your fifth time, then grab hold of the foot with your left hand if you can reach, and slowly begin to draw the heel in closer to your buttocks. And if you cannot reach, just continue to try to bring the sole of the foot into the hand. Now can you keep your hips low this whole time? One final breath. To then slowly release the foot back down and the hand back onto the mat. Lifting the back knee off the floor, press all the way back into a downward facing dog. And again, just paddle it out. As we then go for the other side, inhale, the right leg reaches to sky. Exhale as we step the foot to the outside of the right hand. Start by just creating a little bit of movement here, wiggling back and forth. Grounding firmly down for that right foot to then hug the right knee in towards the arm and then slowly begin to walk the hands forward. Now while you're walking them forward, can you press the left heel a little bit more towards the back and the right buttocks towards the back as well? Keeping yourself supported on your fingertips. But most of the weight is actually going into the legs. To then slowly release, walking the hands back. Once they're there, send your left knee to the ground. Inhale as we reach the right arm to the sky this time. And then making a fist with the hand, send the hand back behind you. To then bend the back knee and draw the sole of your foot up towards the fist of your hand. And exhale, release it back down. Now 4 more times here. Engaging through the hamstrings, just follow your own breathing pace. Hamstrings is the part of the body that we don't get to engage that much. During yoga classes, we usually stretch them more. So this is a nice opportunity to find some strength there. Once you've done 5, grab hold of the foot. If you cannot, just continue to reach the sole of the foot in. And we're going to try to slowly pull the heel in towards the hips. So we allow a few more breaths here into the front of the left thigh, keeping your right foot grounded. To then slowly release, bring your hands all the way back. Planting your hands down, tucking your toes, and lift your hips all the way up and back, downward dog. Paddling out your feet again. And from here, we're going to get into our full splits as we take an inhale, lifting the left leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, knee to chest, stepping the foot in between your hands. Lower the back knee down, and then straighten into the front leg here. As we take an inhale to lengthen, exhale, folding down in your half splits. Maybe you wish to stay in your half splits for today, that's totally fine, just breathing into this one side. Or maybe we slowly begin to walk the left foot forward. Now an opportunity here is to use your blocks, first of all underneath your hands if you need a little bit more support, or you can bring the block underneath the hip or the thigh on the left side. This is quite a nice place to be, especially if you're not used to practicing splits, then it's nice to have a little bit of support through the blocks. And if you do not want to use the blocks for today, or if you feel like you can go further, and slowly wiggle even further forward. The back knee is also wiggling a little bit more back. Using the blocks whenever you need, either underneath the hands or underneath the hips. And then no matter where you are, try to continuously send the left hip back into space and the right hip a little bit more forward. Notice how that will create a little bit of a lift in the body, which is totally fine. That's what we need. We want to resist gravity. So then slowly allow yourself deeper into the shape with this lift, so with the engagement in the body. Now let's take 5 more deep breaths. Maybe you want to try to fold over the legs, can also feel quite nice. Keeping that lift though through the hips, so the left hip is searching back, right hip is searching forward. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Making sure that you stay aware of what's happening within your body. To then slowly come out of the pose, drawing the left foot all the way back, planting your hands, stepping all the way back into your downward dog. Take a moment here to paddle it out. And then switching side, this time the right leg reaches up to the sky. As we exhale, guide the foot in between the hands, stepping it in between. Back knee down, hips going back. Inhale, let's flex into the front foot, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. And again, you're welcome to stay here or slowly walk the foot further forward. Using blocks if needed, you can place it underneath the hips. Again, it's always nice with a little bit of support. Or maybe you want to go all the way down. But making sure that we don't overstretch ourselves or overforce ourselves into a shape. It's much better to stay safe. And then slowly easing yourself into the pose, which is also why we have a few more breaths in this shape. Starting by finding that lift, right hip searches back, left hip forward, to then slowly surrender within that lift and within that engagement. Again, you're welcome to fold forward if that felt good. Sending breath into the sensations through your body as we breathe. Let's take our final 5 deep breaths. Then slowly ease out of the pose. All the way back into your downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, bring your knees to the mat, hips back to your heels, forehead to the ground, child's pose. And just take a moment in child's pose, allowing the body to release. Feel free to stay here for as long as you need. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope to see you again tomorrow, and otherwise I hope to see you for another video. Bye!